Welcome back to my channel. I'm Joe with Smokin Joe's Pet Barbecue. On today's video, we're going to be making up some smoked mac and cheese using my brand new Yoder Smoker's wood-fired oven. Stay tuned. Alright, so here's my Yoder Smoker's wood-fired oven, and I do have a 12-inch skillet, just to show you guys the size of this oven. Now I am going to be using this 12-inch skillet to smoke our mac and cheese, but I do want to talk about the oven before we do that. So the oven itself has 3 pieces. You have your pizza stone right here, which you can take out. Just be really careful with it. Here it is right here, nice and clean. Now these do come pre-seasoned, so you do not have to season them whatsoever. So I'm going to be lifting up the housing of the oven itself, just to show you guys the bottom piece that's going to replace the grates on your smoker. Alright, so this is the bottom piece of the oven itself, and as you can see you have 4 tabs. One thing you have to make sure of is that the shell of your oven sits inside all 4 of these slots evenly. That way you don't have any heat escaping from your oven. Alright, so the heat that's going to warm up your oven is going to come directly from the fire pot that's going to sit right here inside your smoker. So you're going to get a lot of heat that comes in to the top of the housing and go around whatever it is that you're cooking. Now if you notice these holes right here, they start small and they get larger. You're also going to get some residual heat come up from each of these holes that's going to help warm up your oven. So we do need to burn in the oven for about 30 minutes. Let's head outside to my Yoder Y640 pellet smoker. So just a reminder, make sure that you vacuum out all the ashes, remove the grate from your fire pot, vacuum the bottom, vacuum the entire thing, get all of the excess grease out. That way you don't run into any issues with your smoker whatsoever. So here's the bottom piece of our oven. I'm just going to place that and slide it all the way to the left, just like that. Here's the housing to our oven. It's got these 2 handles you can use. And just a reminder, make sure that housing falls on the 4 slots that I mentioned earlier. Next, I'm going to install our pizza stone. Alright, so I'm going to power up my smoker. We're going to run this for 30 minutes at 350 degrees just to season our oven. Alright, hit the start button. And by the way, I am using Jealous Devil pellets for this cook. Alright, so I'm going to let this season for about 30 minutes at 350 degrees. Let's head inside and make that macaroni and cheese. Alright, let's make our macaroni and cheese. And by the way, I am using this Heston Q induction burner. And I gotta tell you, this thing is amazing. If you guys do any countertop cooking, this thing is something that I highly recommend. So check out the links below if you guys want to get one. And I do have 3 quarts of water that just started boiling. And I've got 10 ounces of macaroni, so not a full pound. I'm gonna throw that in there. I'm gonna throw a couple pinches of salt. This is just how I do it. If you don't want to add salt or oil, I am using some olive oil. You can leave it out. But I think that the oil keeps the noodles from sticking a bit. So give it a good mix. Now you want your noodles al dente, okay? You don't want to cook them completely because remember, we're still going to cook them in the smoker for about 30 minutes. Alright, I'm going to put the cover on it, let it come to a boil, and I'll bring you guys right back. Alright, so the macaroni is ready. I did rinse it under cold water, and we will get that here in a minute. So I've got 1 stick of butter. We're going to make our cheese sauce next. Melt this down. This is unsalted butter. So when you're making your cheese sauce, try not to let the butter get brown on you, because that gives the macaroni and cheese a totally different flavor, and I don't like it. So I got a 1/4 cup of white flour. Just add a little bit at a time and mix it in. All you want to do is cook down that flour. Keep moving it around. All right, so I'm gonna bump the temperature up to about 3/4, and I'm slowly gonna add some milk. This is whole milk, and it's gonna wanna clump up on you, so keep mixing it a little bit at a time. See that? It's getting really thick. Add some more milk. All right, so next I'm adding 8 ounces of mozzarella and 8 ounces of cheddar cheese. You gotta stay with this, okay? Don't walk away from it. All right, I'm gonna let the cheese melt a little bit, and I'll bring you guys right back. All right, so about 10 to 15 minutes later, this is our cheese sauce. Check that out. This is the absolute best cheese sauce. Trust me on this one. So I'm gonna add a pinch of salt to my cheese, small pinch of black pepper, or 2. I'm also gonna add a dash of ground nutmeg. Trust me on this. Just like that. Give it a good mix. Now I'm going to be taking out some of this cheese sauce just to make sure my skillet does not overflow. But look at this. Absolutely beautiful. All right, let's turn off our induction burner. So we are ready. So I'm going to take out a little bit of this cheese just to make sure we don't overflow once we add our noodles. You can definitely add some green chili to this cheese sauce and have it over some nachos. This stuff is amazing. All right, so I'm going to add my 10 ounces of noodles. Mix this in. Now these noodles are going to slurp up this cheese sauce. You can actually hear it, almost like Rice Krispies. You can hear the little noodles drinking up all this cheese sauce. Yes, sir. All right, so I'm going to set this aside. All right, so I have a little bit of leftover brisket from my food truck. I know, you should never have any leftover brisket, but trust me, when you have a restaurant or a food truck, you're going to have some leftover food. So I'm going to add some chunks from the flat into our smoked mac and cheese. It's going to be absolutely delicious. Now this brisket is cold, so it's a little easier to cut up. Just nice thin strips. And I'm going to cut this in half. Just like that. All right, let's add the brisket to our mac and cheese. Yeah, buddy. Mix it all in there. This is a great recipe if you have any leftover brisket. And I'm going to add the rest of our cheese sauce, or at least some of it anyway. All right, add the rest of your cheese sauce on there. And again, this is a 12-inch skillet, so you can follow this recipe and it'll be just right. All right, let's go throw this inside our Yoder Smokers wood-fired oven. All right, the oven is seasoned up. It's been running for about 30 minutes. And here's our brisket mac and cheese on this giant 12-inch skillet. Now the beauty of this, using a skillet, is that you can put it at 4 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and about 8 o'clock. And I highly recommend that you move it around. So I'm going to start it off at 4 o'clock right there. Let that run for probably 10 minutes. Then I'll come and shift it to 6 o'clock and then to 8 o'clock, and then we'll take a look at it. Stay tuned. All right, so the mac and cheese has been cooking for about 30 minutes now, and I do have it about the 8 o'clock position. Let's take a look at it together and see what we got. Holy smokes. Look at that. Bubbling. Oh man, that is beautiful. Look at that. Good Lord. Like my buddy Kyle and Joe say, sheesh. That's beautiful. I'm gonna let it cook for about 2 more minutes in each position, and we'll see you guys inside. Stay tuned. All right, guys, check this out. What a masterpiece. That cheese on the top has a nice little crust on it. Yeah, buddy. I gotta tell you, I am loving that Yoder Smoker's wood-fired oven. Let's give this bad boy a try and see how we did. Look at that. I want some of that crust action on the top. Oh man. Nice and cheesy. So you guys saw this bubbling on the edges, so I know this is nice and warm. Oh my goodness. Look at that. Let's give it a taste and see how we did. All right, let's try our wood-fired mac and cheese. I'm gonna get some of that crust action and some brisket, some of those cheesy noodles all in one bite. Come here, you. Here we go. This is still really hot. I'm probably gonna burn my mouth, but here we go. Man, this is absolutely delicious. This is absolutely delicious. I think I'm gonna take my 640 to my food truck and start offering this as a side item. All right, so my first impressions on that Yoder Smoker's wood-fired oven is a solid 10. My mind is going crazy with recipe ideas that I can't wait to bring to you guys. Now this pizza oven does work on the YS480 and 640, so if you've got one of those units, you have got to get yourself one of these wood-fired ovens. Make sure you guys check out the links below. There you will find information on where you can order your pizza oven and even the Heston Q induction burner that I used in this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If this is your first time to my channel, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. And if you enjoyed this video, give me a thumbs up. Until next time, Joe with Smokin Joe Spit Barbecue. See ya.